It's time for an exclusive unboxing of Squid Game 100 and 101. I was able to acquire these packs a few months early of their release at Gen Con 2022. These were given away at the Funkoverse Championship as the grand prize to the tournament winners, and I was lucky enough to be on the winning team. I'm guessing some of you tuning into this video may not have even realized there were such tournaments. And if you are interested in learning more about that, I've provided a link to the footage from this year, which includes me receiving these packs. One might say that we made a lot of good moves, play by play. All kidding aside, I'm super excited to take a look inside these packs and show all of you what's inside. And it just so happens that these are also the chase versions. So opening up this first 4-pack here, we have all the characters, and if I pull up the plastic paneling here, we're gonna see the game map, full-size game map, and our new cooldown tracks, character cards, new rule book, the stuff that you would expect to see with these 4 packs. Getting into the map here, I could already see that this is the courtyard. Lots of blood on this map. This is Squid Games after all, for ages 17 and up. The first pack that Funkoverse has for 17 and up. I believe Game of Thrones and Rick and Morty were rated for 13 and up, and all the other packs for 10 and up. We have the cooldown tracks here. No blood in this artwork. We do have a few more characters though on the back of the cooldown track. Typically, we would only see 2 characters, and we actually get a glimpse of the doll from Red Light, Green Light. She is not, as far as I'm aware, there is no Funko Pop available of the doll. Maybe that'll come out later, and certainly she is not in any of these packs. So just spoiler alert there. But she is in the artwork, and I think she is actually she is on the map, as part of the art on the map. I'll go ahead and get into these components, put all these aside. I'm just going to dump them into a big pile, get into these points a little bit later. The first character I'm going to pull out is the main character of the whole series, Gi-Hun. So here he is in his t-shirt. He is number 456, and a lot of detail on the hair. So if anything, with this pop, he has got some good looking locks there. We'll put him on a base stand, and I'll just put him on the map for now. Why not? The next character we have here is Sae-Byeok. She is wearing her jacket unzipped. She's number 67, and apparently when she's wearing the jacket, you can only see the 6. So there you go. We'll put a base stand on her. I feel like these guys need to have the light base stands. I don't know. And the next character I'm going to pull out is number 1, who is Il-Nam. He is in his jumpsuit, and his hair is he's an older gentleman, so his hair is not as his locks are not as good looking as his other 2, that's for sure. But he's right on theme with who he is. And now we have our chase version of the front man. This is a pretty cool chase. He is in rose gold. So for those of you that have gold Funkoverse miniatures out there, this is a slightly different tint than those other gold pops. This is rose gold. You can kind of see there's a metallic finish to it. Very neat. This is not available. This guy here is not available as a regular Funko Pop as of now. So exclusive to Funkoverse, we have the invitation. You got the symbols on the back, and you know, some numbers, very small numbers here. On the front of that, we have the Honeycomb. I was gonna give the invitation to Gi-Hun, but then I noticed that this was the umbrella Honeycomb, and of course that goes with Gi-Hun. Probably any of these guys you could give them the invitation, but just because we have the chase here of the front man, I'm just gonna give it to him. So yeah, here you go. Nice. Alright, so I'll put him to the... I'll just put him up here with these guys. Let's look at the cards. Let's see what these abilities are. So, or actually, let's... so we have our Worker 28. I forgot about these. We have our basic characters and Worker 29. These are basically, I would say, only really... For new folks who don't have a whole bunch of Funkoverse, these are good to mix and match. They're good as a reference for basic actions. We have Gi-Hun though, and these are his abilities. His trait is Desperate Measures. Gi-Hun may reduce the cost of an ability he does by 1. When he becomes exhausted, do a challenge to him equal to the number of ability costs he reduced on his turn. He has Heart of Gold. Place Gi-Hun adjacent to an ally within 2 squares, do an assist or interact action. He has Take the Lead. Choose an ally Gi-Hun can see. Gi-Hun and that ally do a move 2. He has Back to Back. Do a basic challenge, and adjacent ally may do a basic challenge. So he is a yellow-blue character. He's got 2 defense. Next up, Sae-Byeok. Her trait is Pickpocket. When Sae-Byeok becomes exhausted, shift an ability token on your cooldown track down 1 for each adjacent rival. Sucker Punch is one of her abilities, which is a challenge 3. Increase this challenge by 1 for each gray in your ability token pool. Easily Overlooked. Place Sae-Byeok in a square within 3 that is not adjacent to any rivals. An Intimidating Demand. Control an adjacent rival and make them do a basic action. Move a number of spaces equal to the number of blue in your ability token pool. So the first time I think we've seen ability token pool mentioned on abilities. We have Ilnam. He has Wisdom. His trait, start the game with 1 point. Ilnam may do any action while knocked down. Call for Aid is one of his abilities. Choose a character that isn't adjacent to Ilnam. Move them up to 2 squares. This movement must end adjacent to Ilnam. He has Convincing Smile. Control an adjacent character. Make them do a basic move and a basic challenge in any order. And he has Turn It Around. Ilnam and each of his allies do a move 1. We have the Frontman. He is the Game Master as his trait. At the start of the game, choose 1 Frontman Scenario status card and put it into play. At the start of each round, you may replace the current Frontman Scenario status card with another one. So these are definitely new. He has Brutal Contest. Increase basic challenges by 1. He has Accelerated Pace. As a basic action, a character may shift an ability token on their cooldown track down 2. And he has Ground Rules. As a basic action, a character may move 3 squares in a straight line. So these are called Scenario Status Cards. Brand new with this character. His abilities are Keep Order. Do a basic challenge. If successful, each ally within 3 squares may do a basic challenge. Intimidating Stride. Move 3. This may move Frontman through rivals. Move each rival that Frontman moved through 1 square and change the rules. Replace the current Frontman Scenario status card with a different one and do a basic action. Here's the Honeycomb. At the start of the game, add 1 yellow ability token to your ability token pool. So we have an item here similar to Fog Juice that gives you a gray. Honeycomb is going to give you an extra yellow. The Invitation. Choose an ally this character can see within 3 squares. Place that ally adjacent to this character and give them the invitation. So this would go on the 2 of the cooldown track, and you take the physical item and pass it over to another character. For we have for the barracks we have leaders, and we have territory. So these, I would say, I think it's safe to say by now, these are your classic Funkoverse scenarios that you're getting here with the barracks. Flipping it over though, where things get interesting, on the courtyard we have Squid Game. So among all the classic games that were commonly played, Squid Game was the most physical and violent. Now you must win or be eliminated. There's no stopping the game. You have already come too far to end here. So setup, see scenario setup in the instructions. Place 2 squid markers in the center of the entry area. So we have squid markers with this particular scenario. That is going to be these 2 pink markers. The rules: the player with light bases is offense, the player with dark bases is defense. Whenever an offense character ends their movement in the entry area, they may pick up a squid marker and place it on their character card. Characters may only have 1 squid marker at a time. A character loses their squid marker if A, they enter an area out of bounds. They enter an out of bounds square. It is immediately placed in the center of the entry area. Or B, they are knocked out. It is placed on the one of their cooldown track. Squid markers that shift off the cooldown track are placed in the center of the entry area. So gaining points: if the offense character with a squid marker ends their movement in the scoring area, they gain 2 points, placing the scoring character and their squid marker on the one of their cooldown track. If an offense character interacts with a point marker, they gain 1 point. If a defense character knocks out an offense character, they gain 1 point. If that character had a squid marker, they gain an extra point. At the end of each round, the defense player gains a point for each squid marker in the entry area. And then the winning conditions are the same. If playing with 2 characters per side, gain 6 points to win. If playing with 3 characters per side, gain 10 points to win. I think that's pretty common with most of these scenarios. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up just to kind of walk through some of these rules and how to gain points. Just to make sure that these are kind of clear to understand, I suppose. So if I were to take Gi-Hun and end his movement in this entry area here, he would gain a squid marker. So you would place it on his character card. And then maybe we move Ilnam into the center here, and Sae-Byeok will end her movement on the entry area as well, and have her pick up a squid marker. And then let's see, maybe we'll just for demonstration purposes, we'll just move Gi-Hun maybe down here, and have Ilnam come down. And let's just say he uses one of his abilities and he pushes him, or places him out of bounds. So he's out of bounds, which means he, immediately loses that squid marker, and it goes back into the center of the entry area. So that's how that works. Now, so if we have Sae-Byeok, if she somehow, makes it all the way up here to the scoring area and she has a squid marker, she is going to, well, as soon as she reaches the scoring area, you would put the squid marker and Sae-Byeok on the one of the cooldown track, and they would get, and then you'd get 2 points. So I'm going to open up these points here, just because I hadn't opened them yet. They're pink. Very bright pink. So I'll go ahead and give 2 points to Sae-Byeok, and then at the end of the round, if there's one of these squid markers in the entry area, 1 point will go to the defenders. So a couple things a little different with this mode. The point markers, I didn't add them on here, but they only the offense characters can gain points for the point markers, and only defense characters gain a point for knockouts. We have red light, green light. The doll senses when you move around. If your movement is detected, you will be eliminated, but you don't get caught if you're behind somebody else. When faced with danger, take refuge with the herd. Setup. See scenario setup in the instructions. Sprinter minion tokens that match your team color are your allies. Place the 4 sprinter minion tokens in their starting squares as shown on this card. So we have some new minion tokens specifically for this scenario. Rules, whenever you exhaust a character, you may move one of your sprinter minion tokens 2 squares towards the finish line. If a sprinter minion token is removed from the map, place it on one of its cooldown track. When a sprinter minion token shifts off the cooldown track, place it on its starting square. A lane is a row that goes from the starting area edge of the board to the finish line edge of the board. Before ending a round, before starting the ending a round sequence in the instructions, do the following. Place any standing character and sprinter minion token that are in the finish line onto the one of their cooldown track. Then the character or minion token in each lane that is nearest to the finish line defends against a challenge 3, gaining points. If a character from the finish line is placed onto your cooldown track using the rule above, gain 1 point. If you knock out a rival, gain 1 point. If you interact with a point marker, gain 1 point. Winning is the same as with most scenarios. If playing with 2 characters per side, gain 6 points to win. If playing with 3 characters per side, gain 10 points to win. So let's take a look at these sprinter minion tokens. We have sprinter minion token 324. We have sprinter minion token 199. These have 2 defense. Sprinter minion token 218. And sprinter minion token 101. So this is what the setup will look like. I'll put the point markers on here as well for this one. And so let's say I move Sae-Byeok up here, or maybe I could do something a little more interesting since I have a sprinter minion token way on the other side because of the light bases. So I'm going to move Gi-Hun behind 218, and then at the end of his move I'm going to move this sprinter minion token up 2 squares. I may move them up 2 squares so that he is hopefully shielded from that challenge 3. Then I'll move Ilnam up here. Ilnam doesn't have enough actions left to be able to challenge that sprinter minion token to get it out of the way. We'll have Sae-Byeok move up 4, and then have the sprinter minion token move 2 to keep her shielded. And then we'll just we'll do the same with the front man. So yeah, we'll put I think I moved him up 1 too far, so shift him back and put 101 there. Now let's say this is the end of the round. Every lane now is going to get a challenge 3, and they're going to have to defend against a challenge 3 from the doll, right? So we're going to do try to defend for 324 here, who has 2 defense and does not defend against the challenge 3. So this will go on the one of the cooldown track. Let's just do 218 next. 218, big defense. So this one stays. We'll do Ilnam since he is not shielded, and he gets knocked down from that challenge 3. And then we will do the challenge 3 to 101. Oh, and it blocks it. I did skip 199, but you would have done the you would have rolled the defense for 199 as well. I just forgot. Now any standing character that is on the finish line at the end of the round, but before ending a round, would go on the one of the cooldown track, and then when they return to their starting area, they would gain 1 point. Now if a sprinter minion token is on the finish line before the end of the round, they would go on the one of the cooldown track, and then they would return to their their starting area specified on the scenario card, and you would not gain a point for those. And we also have this 101 pack, the Chase version. This is an interesting pack. We've never seen anything quite like this with a single character. I'll pull out. Let's see what's underneath. We got the cards. We get an item with this one, and each one of these single packs has kind of a smaller little book that comes with them. So here is Jun-Ho, the Chase version. He looks like he almost has maybe a candy apple finish, is the best that I can describe it. I think what I heard was maybe he's a black light version. I don't have any black lights, so I don't know if anything special happens when you put a black light on it, but that's what I heard. I don't think there's anything in here really that is game changing, so I'll put that aside. But for Jun-Ho, his trait is Inside Man. When Jun-Ho wins a challenge or interacts with a point marker, place an evidence token on the 3 of your cooldown track. So he gets evidence tokens. I'll go ahead and grab those real quick. So here he gets 3 evidence tokens. So this is what they look like. I think the front and back, yeah, they're the same. So he can do some things with these within his abilities. Jun-Ho can. His abilities exploit weakness. Range 2, challenge 2. You may shift an evidence token on your cooldown track down 1 to increase this challenge by 1. He has bypass security. Move 2. This may move Jun-Ho through rivals. You may shift an evidence token on your cooldown track down 2 to increase this move by 1. And send data. Shift 2 evidence tokens off your cooldown track and gain 1 point. So all of his abilities here in some way, shape or form involve those evidence tokens. Now, one thing crazy about this pack is you'll notice there's a face mask, and no, this is not an attachment. This is actually a mask that you put on Jun-Ho, and just like that, he becomes a completely different character in the Funkoverse. So he is now the masked manager who has completely different abilities and a complete different character card. And we have let's give him the cell phone. So this is the attachment that comes with this pack. Hard to see, but look, we got the little camera on the back here, and the screen on the front. So his trait as the Mask Manager is Sentry. If Mask Manager has not moved on their turn, increase the range of their challenge actions by 1. His abilities are Take Aim, which is a challenge 3, Rapid Shot, do a range 2, challenge 2 to up to 3 different rivals, and Order Prisoners. Well, each rival Mask Manager can see 1 square towards Mask Manager. And the attachment we have here is Cellular Phone. Place this character standing in your starting area. This item may be used while knocked down, and this would go on the 2 of your cooldown track. Looking real quickly at the rulebook for the 100 pack, I don't see anything on the back that's new. I think the only thing that I see mentioned here different with this pack probably is status card scenario. A scenario status card and is a special type of status card basically. So and those scenario status cards are what you get with the frontman. That's the only thing I really see in this rule book. There might be some more changes as you dig into the rule book, but that's all I see. Gonna go ahead and line all these guys up, and these are what we have now for Squid Game.